Ladies and gentlemen, we've arrived at our destination. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captain turns off this live stream. On behalf of Xbox International, I'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we're looking
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Xbox.
Of course, wait. Of course, that this was not my fault. The stream did it by itself. Hold on.
What happened now? What are you talking about?
Okay, you're live again. Oh, and of course, the signal went off.
Did it really
What is
go
going
out?
on? Yeah.
Did he crash?
Well, hopefully not.
No.
Oh no.
Oh man.
That was very short-lived. He said he could do it. Lasted 30 seconds.
I can't even talk right now.
Someone called the Dominican Republic.
Okay, now we're kind of worried.
We gotta put out a missing persons report now. My goodness.
Okay, let me see something.
Sappho. Someone find the black
he said, go ahead, kick me out. Okay. Well, just in case people are wondering what the heck is going on here, I don't even know what's going on. The stream went kind of crazy. I put the outro instead of putting the intro. Crazy Lou is driving right now. He said he'll be here in an hour or maybe less. He tried to do the intro and he just got disconnected. So I guess welcome to Xbox International podcast, and welcome to the show.
What a start.
What a start. Okay, well, immediately I'm just gonna kick it to you guys and actually see how you guys doing. Let's start with Plume.
I'm doing great. I'm doing better than Crazy Louie right now, I'll tell you that much. It's going to be a very fun week in gaming. Excited to talk about everything that's been going on. You can see the hype on social media is very high, and it's going to be fun. The best time of the year for video games. So doing great, and there's going to be lots to talk about.
Definitely. And what have you been playing?
What have I been playing? I've been going off on like some weird different adventures. But the last week or so, or last couple of days, I should say, not last week, last couple of days, I've been playing randomly Final Fantasy VI just for some reason. And this is why my backlog of like modern games never gets better, is because I just jump into old stuff that I haven't played yet before. And I am really enjoying that game. It's very old school RPG. Like there's always just random battles and a lot of grinding and stuff, but it's captured me in a way that games back then did, and it's still as I get older, I just don't really find that like I still love that style. I love like the music, and just seems like a lot of heart in those old games. I don't know, so that's what I've been playing. But yeah, and I finished Hellblade 2. I wasn't here when we talked about Hellblade 2, but I finished that when that came out, which was a cinematic, beautiful game, one of the best looking games I think I've ever seen. So that was cool.
Plume,
nice.
would you give that video game a 4 out of 10?
No, I would not give a 4 out of 10. That's insane. But I will say this: I would give it about the same as I felt about the first one, which is like, to me, it was like a 7, 8 out of 10. Like, to me, it's not like it's just the style for my style of game. It's not like a perfect game. But for what it is, it's a phenomenal experience.
I have a question because I didn't get to talk to you about Hellblade, but how did you felt about the combat versus the first one?
I the combat I thought was different in a couple ways because in the first one you had like multiple enemies at times, right? And you could like switch between them. And this one, it was just like you would fight one guy and then some guy would grab you and there would be like a different cinematic. But I actually thought this one was better in the way that they did it because I found at times in the first one, you could just kind of spam all of the same things and it would work generally. Like you'd always like parry and stuff. But in this one, I felt like there were times where I would be thrown off by how I was supposed to attack each enemy and stuff. And I just found there was kind of more variety, even though there was less people that you were fighting at the same time. So I actually liked it better. And then like the kills were insane. And then obviously because of the graphical fidelity, it just really felt like people. I actually liked it a lot.
Yeah, same. I personally, I think that this game improved a lot on the combat, but I asked you because um, I had heard some people saying the first one had better combat, which I find kind of wild, but yeah,
No,
but
I
I
I
definitely
don't think the first one had better combat. But the thing with Hellblade 2 is like it is one of those games that you show people because it looks so great. I mean, it's not going to be for everybody, right? It is an experience. It is like a shorter experience, very cinematic, linear and stuff, but definitely worth just seeing it with your own eyes. Because I don't think there's a game that looks better than it right now. I don't know if we'll get one even this generation that does look
yeah,
better at even the same style.
yeah, we'll have to see that. How about you, Silent Cypher? How you doing, and what have you been playing?
I'm doing good, man. We're halfway through the week. I'm super stoked about the fact that we're heading towards time when I can sleep in again because I'm exhausted. These hot nights make it difficult for me to sleep. I feel like as an old man, I feel like I'm getting more of that old man energy as we move forward. But besides that, dude, I'm stoked. We've got the showcases, we've got all the premieres and stuff that are coming up here in just a couple of days. This is like our nerdy kitty Christmas, right? Like as adults, this is when we get to nerd out and just be super excited. And I think there's a lot to be excited about, especially given some of the things that may have leaked a little bit going into the last day or two about the showcases. But besides that, I've actually been playing some video games again, man. I feel like it's been a minute. But yeah, so I think when we talked last, I had beaten Hellblade 2. I really enjoyed that. I definitely agree with Plume. I feel like there were things that like they changed up, but I feel like I liked them more because it felt like it was maybe more refined, more focused towards some of those experiences, like the combat, for example. Um, but shifting away from that, some of the things I've been playing recently, I did dive back into Redfall after they brought out their latest update, which provides like proper pausing for the game, so you can actually pause the game. You can go to the bathroom, come back, you're not dead. Things like that. Again, you being someone with kids as well, you can probably appreciate it's nice not to have a live service game where you step away for a second, and unless you're in a safe haven, you're screwed. It's nice to have things like that in a video game. It gears it more towards someone who's going to get pulled away from a game at any given moment to go grab something for a kid or whatever. Um, been playing a bunch of Brotato again. I think I completed two or three more full runs with some different characters. I'm running into some of the weird unique modifiers where like you don't have weapons, you're just supposed to headbutt everyone, which is freaking ridiculous. That game continues to abuse me over and over again, and for some reason I keep going back. Um, Also dipped into Assassin's Creed, the Ezio collection, and I've been playing Assassin's Creed 2 again. It's been a
That's
while since
my
I've
favorite
visited
one.
those games, so dude, it's so good. The
Wait,
Ezio
the
ones
Brotherhood,
were
right?
really good. Well, yeah, so you've got what you have. Oh goodness, I
I
forget the
think
names of
Brotherhood
them.
is part two, right?
Yes, I believe
Yes.
Assassin's
so. And
Wait, isn't
sorry,
Didn't Assassin's Creed Brotherhood come after Assassin's Creed 2?
Oh, maybe I'm confused. Then.
So there was like Assassin's Creed 2. I forget what the title was for like the subtitle for that one, but then I think it was like Brotherhood, and then there was one more,
Oh, okay. I'm
Revelations. Yeah,
confused.
there
Then.
we go.
Revelation.
So there were like there were three different ones that were like the Ezio trilogy in that set.
Yeah.
So I started playing through those ones again, which has been a lot of fun. Played some Fortnite this weekend with my son and with King David, which was pretty fun. That was a wild experience running through all the Mad Max themed levels and stuff that they've put into that game. That was really cool. And then I played a ton of Hypercharge this weekend, and that is a really good game. I've really enjoyed my time with that. I think the price point for it is solid for what it is. I do think so there's a lot of maps. I really like how many maps there are on that game, but I do think that there's some things where they're like a little content light. There's a ton of customization you can get for your characters, but I feel like there's no leveling system or anything at this point, which I feel like is kind of a missed opportunity to provide you maybe more options to get some different skins and stuff like that. Make it kind of like a Call of Duty, for example. But the actual core gameplay loop, the game modes that they have, really good. Been playing a ton of team deathmatch, a little bit of King of the Hill. Besides that, I think they also have a few other ones. I think an infected mode or something. But really solid little first and third person shooter. It's a lot of fun. It's definitely worth playing. It's got a ton of different co-op modes and stuff as well. So yeah, sorry, that was a lot all at once, but it's been a lot of fun.
No, you're good. You know what I was thinking for that game, but I don't know if it's big enough that, for example, Microsoft could like somehow like partner with the developers and like let them use like some of the like maybe there could be like a Master Chief action figure and like have some special ones here and there. I feel like that would be kind of cool.
I think fortunately they're in a situation, and it seems like it's picking up pace. It looks like it's been doing really well. I think they're in a fortunate situation where their layout for that game, the way it's set up and everything, you can tie in to a lot of different things. You could have your Halos, as you mentioned. You could have stuff like Gears of War tied into there. Even outside the Microsoft stable, you could have so many other things. Like I find it funny that, I mean, I guess like realistically, it's a small dev team, right? It's only 6 guys that are doing this thing. So obviously their reach is only going to be so much to start off with for this launch. But I'm surprised that there isn't like a Toy Soldiers tie-in. Yeah. I don't know if you ever saw that movie. Yeah. So I feel like that's almost just perfect for this, right? Like you could bring the Gorgons and those guys like in.
Yeah, you mean
you bring
Small Soldiers, the name.
Small Soldiers, yeah.
Yes, not awesome. Toy Soldiers, Small Soldiers. Different movie.
You're close.
Much different movie. But yeah.
G.I. Joe, they said in the chat. Yeah.
GI, absolutely. Yeah, LVO's right with that. Things like that, like it is ripe for the picking. And honestly, there are a lot of like knockoff GI Joe characters in it already. Like I have multiple characters I've customized that look like Firefly or Storm Shadow or like some of the other characters that kind of have that generic masked soldier look. So it's pretty rad. I've had a lot of fun with that, and I think given how much success these guys are having, I wouldn't be surprised if they have some sort of team up like that with Microsoft, or if they get something going. You know, we saw it with Vampire Survivors where they started bringing on different stuff. You had Vampire Survivors like gun DLC and all these things as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some pretty robust additions to this game as time goes on. And hopefully they end up seeing maybe financial support, as well as maybe someone can team up with them and give them an extra few devs that can kind of help work to fine tune and expedite content too. Like, I think that'd be really cool.
Definitely. So I'm gonna do like Lou always says, and I'm gonna be like, so you're not gonna ask me?
Sour, sour, sour Lou. What have you been playing, buddy?
Oh man, so like you guys, I did beat Hellblade 2, and like you all said, definitely like an experience. I would say I don't know if I talked about it last week, but I would say my only, and it's not even a complaint, it's just me being a little bit picky. The only thing I would probably add was I feel like the puzzles to get to spoiler alert giants. I think pretty much people know that you fight giants. Um, I feel like some of the puzzles, like you feel like, okay, it's setting you up for like more like in, bigger puzzles, like more a little bit more like difficult like things, like mix and match. And sometimes you're left like hanging. You're like, oh, like they
You're
could have done
expecting
more.
more compl. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I I could see that. I could see that for sure. I I don't want to like. I don't want to be, the permanent yes man on it. I definitely think that one thing that I would have probably changed is a lot of people critiqued it for the fact that you hold forward a lot, right? So like climbing a cliff, you're holding forward for like 20 or 30 seconds before like you're done with that section. But I think it actually made an interesting occurrence in the game though, because I don't know how many times you ran into it, but there were multiple times where I'd be playing the game and it would go from like a cutscene or from me doing something right into action. And
yeah,
I was watching and all of a sudden I just stopped and I was like, wait, why'd she? Oh, I'm in control. Oh, we're
yeah,
not, this isn't a cutscene. Like it's wild because there aren't cutscenes in the traditional way. So you don't really have that separation between gameplay and cutscenes and stuff, which is like I guess both a good and a bad. I almost feel like you have to have like a little markup in the top corner just showing that it's like auto saving, so that way you know that you're back to playing instead of just watching a video. Or yeah, it's we've come to a point where the visuals it blurs the line in ways where like you just don't realize what's what, which is cool. It's really cool.
yeah. Personally, I think the also part of the reason they did that too, is to play around with the whole intent of, how like there's certain rocks and stuff where like you kind of use your vision and it kind of like open up
Yeah, the
different like
faces,
yeah,
the
the
rocks.
faces and all that.
Yes.
I feel that had to do with it. I just wish they
Yep.
would have done more of that a little bit so that it felt less, of like you said, just walking. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's something minor. I mean, for what the
The
game is, the
faces the
experience.
faces were pretty cool though.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
The
definitely.
faces were cool. Like it was really easy to miss them, but when you caught one, you felt like a badass because you're like, oh my goodness, like
Yeah.
yeah, it kind of looks like a face, but maybe. And once you line it up, you're like, wow, that's okay, that's cool. And I like how they fade them back to reveal your path forward. It's cool.
Yeah, definitely cool.
Without spoilers, of course.
Besides that, I played some more Mass Effect 3. Of course, that's the game I'm playing on the ROG, so I went back to that. But I also downloaded some games on the PC, which, since I already beat Hellblade on my main PC, I wanted to play some few games. And I saw one that I had. I don't know if I purchased it or I got it from one of those free Epic games that they give out. But I saw one that I found interesting and I saw it was short. It's called Industria, I think it's called. It's it kind of like I started playing it. I played a little bit. It gives me a little bit of a like a BioShock vibe. At the beginning, like it feels kind of janky a little bit, like the movement and stuff. But the story, was kind of intriguing. So I kind of got enough to where, I have a weapon now and all that, and a little introduction. There's like a mystery going on, and I kind of want to know more of what's going on in that like universe. But I look at it like kind of like BioShock, but kind of like in it feels like kind of like Russia, where like something like that. But it's kind of interesting. Like it has a little like atomic heart to it too. I feel like. So yeah, that's what I've been playing.
You didn't say what it was about, did you? Like you said
Industria.
kind of the game type,
Oh.
but what?
Okay, well, basically the story start with your main character gets a call from, I guess, a coworker, and I guess it might be its partner from the conversation. And I guess they worked in a company where they were working in some type of machine, and something's going on. You don't know exactly what's going on, but he basically says, there's trouble, something, and you got to go to him. And then all of a sudden, when you get to the machine, you're kind of like teleported to another place. And that, you have that whole mystery of what the heck's going on, where's her partner at, and all that.
Okay, cool, nice. Yeah, LVO brought up a good point. It's like, are you talking about Atomic Heart? No, it sounds like something that would happen in Atomic Heart.
Yeah.
For sure.
Definitely. So, anyway, I know we started kind of backwards and we're all over the place. So, if you can help me real quick, can you shout out the chat? And then I actually have some announcements. And then
Sure.
And then you can do the in-flight announcement. So, can you shout out that chat for me?
Okay, you'll have to give me a second in between this and the in-flight though, because.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got some announcements.
Okay, cool. Well, first off, shout out to everyone that's in here. I'm going to see if I can try and get to everyone, but the chat, I feel like, didn't load right. Okay, there we go. So we've got Drawn TJ with us. We have Ray Chi, Game Shark in here. Good to see you, man. We have Elvio. Elvio is modding in here right now, which is awesome. MJ Dark, salute. Good to see you, buddy. You're in there for some reason. I don't know. We got It's Timmy V2. I gotta do my best, Louis. It's Timmy V2. Good evening, sir. We've got Talos Ray with us. We have Blue Arrow. We have Remake Station 5 this evening. Good evening. Let's see. We got Sappho with us. We have Remake Station 5. We have Wilfrey Rosario this evening. We have Day Reezy is in the house. Good evening, sir. We also have Megalodon Foster in here with us.
Ooh,
always a killer name. We got Gennaro Martinez with us. We have, I think that's possibly it. Let me just double check. I think, and Ducato, if I didn't say it. We also have Dolonite this evening. God, you guys have been blowing it up. We got Jason Max in here, as always, with the usual energy. He says, just remember, Xbox is number one. we will see this weekend, won't we? We'll see how this showcase goes, and then we can have that same conversation and see where we're at, see how we're feeling it, right?
Well, I saw someone in the chat said that in September we have another showcase, so we might have to wait for that. We have that secret showcase.
That super secret double probation. Yeah, that showcase. That's going to be glorious. I'm sure. Yeah, maybe they'll tell us that they're going to get PC players over to PlayStation again. That'd be fun.
Okay. Well, anyway.
Okay.
All right. So I do have a few announcements before we start the show. A couple actually. And the first one, well, first of all, I do want to shout out Elvio in the chat, and I want to shout out the whole crew from Xbox International and Español. Those guys have been busting their ass off. They've been working really hard. They're trying to grow. They're trying to reach 500 subscribers. So if you speak Spanish, you have a friend that speaks Spanish, please go ahead, send them over there. So it's at XBIES. So Xbox International en Español, if you want to search it. And the first thing I would do want to announce that June 8th, they have a special showcase, which they have been picked, and they will be showcasing the Latin American Game Showcase. It's going to be June 8th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. There will be 70 game shown. There will be some world premieres and some exclusive announcements. So, if you want to check it out, go ahead, check it out. Support these guys. They're really working hard. And at least, most of the podcasts, maybe you won't understand them, but at least the showcase, if you want to go hang out with them, you can at least look at the games. They do tend to show some nice games. I saw the one last year. Shaddai, actually, from XBI also showcased it last year, and there was some nice games, some nice like Metrovania games. There's actually a game from Chile that reminds me a lot of like Hellblade, which they're making, and we got to see last year. I thought that was very interesting, but like with Chile mythology, which I'm pretty intrigued for that. So check that out definitely. The other thing that I do want to announce also is that, of course, June 9th, we will have the showcase. And what we're going to have double live stream. We're going to have one for the Spanish crew. They're going to be doing their own. So if you speak Spanish and you prefer to watch it in Spanish, hang out with the guys, you can go to their channel. There's the at XBI Podcast ES. And if you prefer to hang out with us, we would truly appreciate it. You can come hang with us. Crazy Lou would definitely be here. Hopefully he won't be driving. And basically those are our two announcements. So, Captain, if you're ready,
hey,
we're gonna...
Sour, you got one more too. We have a triple header actually, because Plume is also doing the showcase.
Oh yes, Plume Network.
And I believe if I saw the calendar right, I think Plume is doing all three of them, or four.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do Summer Games Fest, Xbox, and Ubisoft Forward. I'm looking at the Summer Games Fest schedule. There are actually a ton of shows starting tomorrow. Wait, no, starting on the 7th. I didn't realize how many there actually were. Yeah, there's a lot.
Okay,
Yeah,
my fault. I should go on
nuts.
timeout.
Yeah,
I've been out of
Jesus. No, make sure to keep your eyes open on all the channels, because Plume's going to be all over the place. He's got his calendars already set up and ready to roll on there. You can set your reminders on that. I think we have one of ours already. I want to say Sunday, maybe not. But yeah, just keep your eyes open on YouTube. Follow our content, follow Plume's content. There's going to be a lot of things going on this weekend. Like I said, this is literally our Christmas, our nerdy, geeky Christmas, where we're going to get to just have a bunch of fun over like a 3 or 4 day period.
Definitely. All right, well, you ready, Mr. Captain?
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, Sour has turned on that subscribe button. Please stow your food and beverages right next to your desk, underneath your seat, or in front of you. Please take your seat and fasten your seatbelt, and also make sure that you've hit that like and subscribe as we take off. We gently remind you that smoking and drinking are not prohibited on this flight. However, walking into the ladies' room on accident because you aren't paying attention is creepy, and it's strictly prohibited. If you have any questions about our flight today, please don't hesitate to ask one of our flight panelists. Thank you.
Damn it, I've been so off the chat, like private DMs. I don't know who did that. I'm kind of intrigued now. So,
well, I'll tell you one thing: it wasn't me.
Sour, who do you think it was?
I can only imagine.
give a wild guess, sir.
Oh man. Oh, changing the conversation. You know what? I also forgot. I forgot to talk about what we're gonna talk about today. Well, the thumbnail thus kind of says it all. We're gonna talk. We're gonna give our predictions, and we do got on the side. Basically the itinerary. Oh my God, I'm so lost today. Um, so let's begin right away. Let's begin. As you see there, it says state of Xbox. No, I'm not talking about the state of play or anything like that. It's it's mainly I want to know what you guys think. Like, besides the game, like let's forget about the game a little bit because we had a very interesting conversation actually this Monday with the Xbox International Podcast en Español. They had some nice guesses. They had Ecstasy. They had Simmons. It was a pretty big episode, pretty wild. And somehow we got to the conversation. We started talking about like what is Xbox gonna like? What is their vision? And then are they gonna talk a little bit about that because they did kind of, I wouldn't say fumble, but they kind of change around some of their strategy. And I guess we're not 100% clear of everything that's going on. So are they going to clarify a little bit more? Because, you know, are the games going to come everywhere? Is there going to be time exclusive? Are we going to see a handheld? Like, what's going on? I'll start with you, Silent, because I see you giggling and I see you reacting pretty big.
If anyone is wondering if Microsoft is going to discuss whether they're coming to other systems, I'm pretty sure that'll probably be a resounding no. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like that would not be the best foot forward to be like, yeah, we're going to come out here and dominate by showing you games that are coming out to PlayStation. I just have a feeling that they're not going to touch that. Now, in regards to something like
big logo coming to PlayStation.
Hey, I mean, you know, maybe they'll surprise us. Maybe they'll pull a PlayStation and they'll say, hey, we're going to pull the PC players to our ecosystem. And then the next day they announce that they've got their sequels coming to PC. So, I mean, anything can happen, I suppose, but I don't see it. I hope that I hope they're aware enough and they're reading the room enough to know that that will go over like a fart in a car. No one will appreciate that feedback. No one will appreciate that approach. So fingers crossed they're paying attention. They're being smart about it. In regards to a handheld, as of yesterday, if you would have asked me if I thought that we were going to see the handheld console, I probably would have said not at this event. I think one exists? Yes. Have we had plenty of smoke around this situation to prove that that's the case? Yeah, seems like it. Do I think it's going to be shown at the showcase? I would have thought no yesterday, but it feels like there's more and more ramping up to kind of point towards us seeing that handheld this weekend. I think I'm of two minds on that, though, because if they're showing it to us this soon, it's either going to have a pretty far out release date, or that thing's going to be on lower end hardware. And I don't think that's a good idea, right? Because the whole idea was that this was going to potentially be the hybrid version of the next gen console. I think at this point, I think there's still maybe a possibility we won't see the handheld, but it does feel like it's ramping up more and more towards us seeing it. However, I think we're going to see the revision of the Series X, the diskless, before we see the handheld or any other hardware iterations. We'll continue to see controllers over and over again at all times, no matter what. It doesn't matter. Like, we'll see new controller skins and colors and stuff like that. But as far as like actual hardware, I think we're going to see the Series X diskless first, or at least that's my thought. Maybe we see the Series S or the Series X diskless and the handheld during the show. I don't know if they want to drop that much hardware all at once, but maybe. I don't know. Like I said yesterday, I would have probably said no handheld, but at the same time, I feel like we're starting to see more and more pile up to the possibility. Besides that, do I think they're going to deliver? I hope so, and I'm in a positive mindset that I think Microsoft's going to end up delivering pretty good on this showcase.
You're
I'm
9.5
still
confident.
nervous. I don't know if I would say 9.5 confident because I don't I don't want to put myself up on that pedestal and then get kicked down the hill. Inevitably they're going to do something 2 or 3 days later that's going to cause the news to go the opposite way. I could see a solid 8.5 to a 9, given what we've heard and possibly what they could show. Something that I'd have to say right off the bat, right, is with how many games they've been working on that we haven't seen for quite a while now, they have a strong lineup of stuff that could be ready for showcase finally after all this time. Stuff like State of Decay, stuff like, like we've got enough games lined up, Fable, things like that we haven't seen for a long while, that by now, if they showed all of the old stuff that we saw like years ago, along with maybe some new surprises, it could be a pretty solid showcase. But I wouldn't go 9.5 yet.
All right, very important. What would you call the handheld?
I don't even know, right? Like I'd assume they'd buck the naming convention, right? So it wouldn't be like a series something, because I feel like that's just continuing to get more and more muddied.
The export.
I got the export.
You can't call it.
No, please, God, no.
Can't
Yeah,
call it.
please don't. I don't know, man.
Xbox Pocket.
I don't
export.
hate it. I don't
The
hate
export.
it. I don't like it, but I the export. No.
The X Switch.
Also, don't Google that. That's probably not a good idea. The X Switch. No.
Oh,
Dude, I don't have an answer for you on that one. I wish I had something good. I wish you hadn't surprised me with it, because I could have come up with something creative. Put me on the spot. Hopefully Plume has a better answer for you, a more serious one.
The Xbox Go.
Oh, there you go.
I mean,
No, these are all names have already been used. I don't know. They gotta think of something original.
I don't. Do we? Is
the
it really
X
that
hands.
much? That's a.
The X hands.
No. I don't like it. No. I hope you're wrong. The Go Box. Game Shark says the Go Box.
They should just call it. They should just call everything just Xbox. No more like naming convention. Just Xbox. There shouldn't be like. We don't need it anymore.
Everything is
Especially
Xbox, right?
Yeah.
I think you could cut back some of the naming convention and just say Xbox Handheld, right? Like nothing else.
Yeah.
Just Xbox Handheld.
The X Surface.
If you think people were thinking it's Microsoft Gaming before that name, after that name, they're gonna be even worse.
Yeah, that'd be a bad move. 19 inches of Xbox. How about that? That comes from Ducato.
All right. Oh, Plume. So, I don't know if Silent knew this, but I believe right after the showcase, Phil Spencer is going to have an interview with Ryan McCarthy. No, Ryan McCaffrey. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
McCaffrey. So I think that's where he's going to talk about it. Now, how immediate that be? We don't know yet, but I assume it's gonna be within that week of the showcase. So, what do you expect from the future of Xbox? And are we going to see the hardware, the handheld?
Well, it's I thought we would potentially, and then I didn't think we were, and now we're seeing reports today that we will. The Sarah Bond mentioned something at the business update about showing off hardware. Now, I don't think that means that they're going to show off the next gen. I think we will see some sort of Xbox hardware, whether, like Silence said, that's just a revision of the Series X, the discless one, or that's the handheld. I feel like if they're going to show the handheld on the showcase this year, I don't see why you would show the handheld and then say it's coming out for the next generation, or even talk about it and say it's coming out for the next generation. So I think if they do end up showing a handheld, this is something we're going to be getting relatively soon. That would be my best guess, because right now you could easily just brand it as the handheld for Xbox that lets you play everything, like your library, your Game Pass, your cloud gaming. If they probably won't talk about this, but I'm sure people are going to know that they're going to be able to play like Steam and stuff, especially if it's running Windows or either side loaded or whatever. Like, you're going to be able to play everything on it. And I just feel like if you're going to show it now, you might as well just release it with slightly like the highest end of handhelds you can get right now on the market, because we're seeing the PC handheld market just absolutely taking off. So they're probably trying to cash in on that. They may also want to get out before the Nintendo Switch 2 launches to kind of beat them in some way. Although the market that the Switch 2 is going to be targeting will be different. But I feel like, yeah, if they're going to show it, I think it's going to be a sooner rather than later release.
All right, now hold off real quick, because Silent Cypher thinks if they show it, it's going to be for the future. And you think if they show it, it's going to be immediate. Now, do you guys want to make the bet that XVI en Español made with Shaddai and Elvio? So they made a very interesting bet where, like, I believe, what was the bet? Okay, so their bet is if Beyond Good and Evil is shown at the Ubisoft.
That ain't happening. Nope.
Okay, so I don't know who's betting on what, but basically the loser has to dress up as Frozen and dance the song live. So that's gonna be a very interesting broadcast. So are you guys up to a bet like that?
What in God's name are they thinking?
Yeah, dressing up as Frozen.
As Frozen, as characters from Frozen?
I guess, something like that. What a dress. I think it's a dress.
I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna put myself in a dress on the internet. I don't know.
I think I'm good. I think I'm good.
It sounds like something crazy would do, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we've got plenty of weirdos online that could just go ahead and AI that for us, and I don't think I need to give them any cannon fodder.
We should just win. It doesn't matter what our bet is. No matter what, Crazy Louis dresses up as a character and dances.
Yes, I agree. We vote on Louis' situation. So if we're wrong, he's the one who has to dress up.
Yeah.
I do want to say though, and I feel like as I replayed it, as you were saying that, I kind of I realized that I was a little bit, have my cake and eat it at the same time. Like, I feel like I chose both, because I said if we see it, there's a possibility that it's either not future hardware, so it's something that kind of lands in between this gen and next. But I also said, like, if we see it and it's next gen, that it's going to be like a year or whatever out, right? So I guess that's not necessarily fair, because I kind of was like, well, if they do show it, but if they don't, or if they do show it, it could be this or this. So I
think it's like how they go about it. Like, if they could come out and talk about the Xbox handheld and really, like what they did with, if you remember at the Game Awards, and when they first announced the Series X, it was just a really quick thing, right? maybe they'll do something like that with the handheld. Then that would be a next generation thing. But if they actually come out and actually, hey, this is the Xbox handheld. This is what we have for it.
Now that was kind of what I was going to say next to you, Plume, is I could see a world realistically where we see the discless this weekend, but then do you think maybe like if we see that and we don't happen to see the handheld, maybe we end up seeing the handheld at the Video Game Awards like we saw the Series X and like I think we saw the One X back in the day, because they have that cadence. So
yeah, I think that would be, I think that could happen. And I think if they were to do the handheld, they would probably do it at the same time as they tease the hardware as whatever is going to be in the next generation. Like it's this all encompassing thing.
That would put them closer. I think if we saw that at the Video Game Awards, that would put them closer to the next gen window, right? Because that's what we saw in the previous times where they're like, hey, we're showing it to you right now. It's December. This thing releases in October, November, right? So that could line them up perfectly for that if they ended up doing that.
Yeah, my thing and my other only thought with the handheld is it's like, let's say they were to, because we know handhelds are creating hardware, you have to lock in your specs like way in advance, right? So let's say this thing does release in 2026. Even then, it's not going to be a handheld that's targeted for like the biggest next generation AAA games at like any high fidelity or anything. So I feel like, is it even at that point worth it to wait, or do you just release it now at like the highest spec that's out there and then just let it play everything and then eventually be able to transfer it over to the next generation? I think that's like something they may.
Yeah, I feel a lot of people too are too like in the thought of, oh, this handheld has to have like the highest fidelity, do this, do that.
Has
I feel like
cure world hunger.
yeah, I feel like for me personally, as someone that plays on the ROG Ally, if it could play next generation games at 900p and at a good frame rate, then I'm okay with it. Like it doesn't even have to be all the games at like 60, because I understand some of the games might be or maybe we bring down the resolution a little bit if we want to get that 60. But if they're doing the hybrid approach, what they have to ensure is that when you do want to play it at high fidelity and you connect it to the main console or the one that's gonna go on your big TV, then you get that high fidelity.
Yeah, but I think that brings in another question though for me, because if it is a handheld, how much is it going to cost? And even if you have a dock, right? Like it's not going to be playing games at that high fidelity unless the thing is like $1,000, maybe not 1,000, but like a very expensive thing. And I'm guessing with this handheld, they're going to want to keep it in that $399-ish range. So
you know what I think they should do? My personal opinion and idea is, but I don't know how that would work, is that what they can do is the dock could be the actual console. Like, for example, when you connect, kind of like, instead of being like the Switch where it's just like the handheld is the one console and that's it, and when you put it on the dock, you basically getting everything from there. What you can do is in the handheld you have a very like powerful processor and maybe not such a powerful like GPU for the handheld mode, and then when you connect it to this other console, that other console has a more powerful GPU that then it kicks in and helps.
I like your idea, but I'm gonna tell you why that's not gonna happen. and I apologize for raining on your parade on this.
It's fine. I just throwing an idea.
Factor this, right? So now you're going from, okay, we're gonna release this handheld and we're gonna have a GPU. Now we're going to release a handheld and we're going to have 2 GPUs, one for a dock, one for mobile, right? So now you're adding even more cost instead of just having it dedicated to one specific GPU, tied into the system specifically, or just a docked system, right? And I think that's where I would probably have to disagree, is because I think that's going to ramp up the cost more. Or if they did something like that, I don't think you would end up getting the visual enhancement that you're hoping for when you go to a docked situation, because if they're doing lower graphics on the portable version, but they give you a higher end chip, that's going to cost quite a bit more than what they want. So they'd probably do middle of the line with maybe a little better quality on the docked version. I don't think they would add a GPU separate. I think it's going to be baked into whatever the core hardware is. I like the idea because we've seen it with other stuff, right? We've seen it with the ROG Ally and some of these other systems where they do that, where you get those extra enhancements, but that's where the price skyrockets.
Well, how much is the new GPU
with all the hardware
for the ROG Ally, right? Like that.
Easily like what, 300?
Yeah.
Ish, 400. Based on the stuff that I saw that Dark put on TikTok and has been posting online, his little breakdowns on some of that stuff, it feels like I agree with you. I would love the idea of something like that. I think maybe what the compromise could be is make it so when it's on a portable stance, maybe it gears towards those lower visuals and stuff, so that way you're saving your battery power. But then once you're connected docked, just like the Nintendo Switch, you see more of that power come out.
That's
so
what I
that way
mean.
you're not burning. But you were saying 2 different graphics, right?
Well,
because with the Switch,
it's gonna have
all
to have
baked into
a
the one
graphic card
system.
to run it on the handheld mode. You know, it's gonna have to have something. Oh, you mean like put it all in the?
Yeah,
In
I
the
thought you were
handheld?
saying
Okay.
that you wanted a GPU for both the dock and for the handheld, 2 separate GPUs.
Well, the way I was saying, you kind of do have to have two. So, you saying just have it all on the.
Yeah, have
On
it
the
like the Switch, right? Where it's all in there, but you prioritize the performance and the battery life, just like how the Switch does it. Like you focus on that stuff, you drop the graphics down, but then when you're docked, you're getting that higher level. It's just like when we
then
play it with our ROG Ally, right? Where like we ramp it up to whatever it is, 25 or 35 watt power versus like the 15 or 20 that we're doing when we're mobile.
but then here's what I see though, with that. Then the handheld is gonna be way more expensive if you do that. So what I was thinking with the other approach is, because you could still make it that the handheld with the less powerful GPU, that could be your lower end like console, and you could still connect it to the TV and play. You're just not gonna play at the higher fidelity. Now, if you want the premium experience, then you get the console that's you dock it in and
Okay.
you get more power. Get what I mean?
Yeah, if it's a premium experience, yes. I think we saw some reporting on this, and Plume, I think you did a video on it, if I remember correctly, but there was some stuff talking about the fact that it looks like if this stuff releases in the future, like it's going to be more of that thing where it's like you're paying that cost. It's an at cost. It's not like the consoles now where they take a hit on what they're putting into that box. Like if you buy it, you're going to be buying it, but you're going to pay for it, right? Like it's a higher price for those specific things because it's not at mass production.
Yeah. But Plume, we kind of cut you out.
Sorry, Plume.
No, you guys. I was talking for a while. That you guys made all good points. It'll be interesting to see what they end up doing. And the other thing I think about the handheld is like, I don't know about you guys, but I like play specific experiences on my handheld. Like, I wouldn't play Hellblade 2 on a handheld, right? On my ROG Ally, and I think like going in and buying a handheld just with wanting to play current generation games, it's like you shouldn't be expecting a premium, the highest end experience, right? So that's why it's like if they are going to announce a handheld right now, it's like I think it's going to be something we're getting sooner rather than later, and they can market the whole catalog, like the backwards compatibility. You're going to be able to play everything you've bought throughout your entire life on Xbox on this handheld plus Game Pass and everything. And then they just put it out sooner rather than later. And if they're going to wait, then I think it's going to be, here's the handheld. This complements this powerful beast of a machine that you have at home when you want to have like the highest end gaming experience.
You don't think they should slap a 8K 120 FPS on the box?
Oh, I mean, they absolutely should if they want to sell it. So
It's all about the SSD, man. Like it's that magical SSD that actually ties everything together, though.
yeah,
It's no, I agree with Plume.
Yeah,
all right.
I do.
But
I'm not gonna bet that I'm gonna dress up if I lose that bet or not.
No,
I think whether we see a handheld now or we see a handheld later, we all win. Because I think
yeah,
we see how the ROG Ally and some of these handhelds already play these games, and in general, like you were saying, Sour, like even if it drops it down to 900p on a screen that small, you don't notice that much of a difference. It's not a big deal, especially because you can bump up all those other things. You can increase your anisotropic filtering, you can change your lighting, you can change the depth, you can change the amount of like visual effects on screen, so you can kind of balance out the fact that you have to drop down the visuals. We don't get those options on regular consoles, and so most of the stuff that we're already playing on our current handhelds already are outpacing the things that we see on the consoles usually, with the exception of Hellblade, because I can say I tried it on the ROG Ally. It does not play the same as it does on the Series X. It is what it is. I've played plenty of games that looked way better on the ROG Ally, but that was not one of them by any means. Yeah.
I tried it too. And I play mine at 720p like most of the time, just to be as efficient as possible with the battery. That's the biggest thing for me with the handhelds too, is just the battery life. Got to improve on that, because it's like it's a handheld, but it's not portable because the battery is so bad.
You mentioned also catering towards like specific set of games that you're playing when you're using this thing, right?
Yeah.
I do the same thing where I'll play Brotato or something like that. You can drop the wattage down to 10, or you can even go in and customize and drop it even lower. So you get maximum battery life, and you don't need the visuals because that game is not a visually intensive game.
No.
So yeah,
Unless you have a very beautiful screen on the device itself, the visuals aren't even going to pop, right? If you don't have an OLED or something, it looks good, but it's not going to pop.
If we had an OLED, that would be pretty sweet. I think that is definitely one of my wish list items on this system, whatever it is. Like, it'd be great to have an OLED.
definitely. All right, well, I think it's time for some predictions.
Before we start the predictions, has anyone heard from Louis? Because he said he'd be on an hour into the show, and then
Well, he
That's
did
a good
text
point. We're
me.
right there,
Let me
aren't we?
see. Let me see something.
is
The
he
last
alive?
thing-
Like, we should just make sure the guys. Yeah.
The last thing he texted me was, "Go ahead, it's kick me out."
Okay.
I think
That
he
was
meant kick
like an
me
hour
out.
ago.
Yeah, I think he meant kick
was
me
an
out.
hour ago.
But go ahead, kick me out. But it says, "Go ahead,
I'll
it's kick me out." Oh, it,
I'll
okay. I
interpret
think he meant okay. I know what he
I'll
meant.
interpret that as Sourblow, as Louis. It's Sourblow. It kicked me out. Sourblow.
Okay,
I
how you
missed my
guys
turn, Sourblow. Sorry.
how you guys want to do the prediction? Do you want to go 1-1, or are you gonna go 3 each, and then how you want to?
Let's bounce 1-1, because I feel like otherwise we're gonna trip over each other's predictions really fast. I think that's
Alright.
what we did last year, and I remember regretting it.
Okay, well, I have you on screen. Go ahead, you're first. Give us your first prediction.
Son of a...
Xbox handheld.
Okay, so oh, that'd be pretty good. Okay. I'm gonna take an easy picking on this one. I think we will finally see the Gears Marcus Phoenix collection.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Nice. Any reason why you think we're gonna see it?
Because
Or are you just throwing it out there?
I feel like we've been hearing about that thing for like 2 years now. We've seen so much smoke in regards to this thing. I don't see any world where it doesn't actually exist. I feel like every 4 to 6 months, all of a sudden, someone's like, "Yo, the collection, it's coming." Like, I don't know. There's been plenty of people who have said it. Plenty of people who are trustworthy and actually have a track record. Not some of the fakos that are out there on Twitter. Not the folks that are just throwing stuff out there for engagement. People that have actually had proper track records, where I think that's something we're going to see. And I think especially, okay, now here's where it's going to get a little salty though, because I don't think you're going to like the feedback I'm going to add to this. We're going to get it announced that the Marcus Phoenix collection is coming, and then later down the road, after the showcase, not during the showcase, because again, I maintain Microsoft might be able to avoid stepping on the rake. The Gears of War Phoenix collection will end up coming to PS5 as well. But that's not going to get announced here. That's not going to get announced.
I don't really mind on that, but
I don't either, but I know some people are freaking out.
It is what it is.
Because it's one of the pillars, right? So like people are nervous about this new stance, which I get. It's different than what we're used to. But at the same time, I would say look at what Sony is doing also. It's bound to happen to everyone eventually.
They could bring it to the Nintendo Switch.
They could. And it would actually play just fine at this point, because those were 360 titles. So
yeah,
that lines up with the hardware.
Yeah, I'm in the mindset that game was actually not in development, but I think it's been talked so much that someone probably went, listen, guys, you got to start developing this.
No.
They talked it into existence.
I think it's more they saw the success of the MCC, and then they're like, you know, we have another IP that will be very successful if we have a compilation.
So I think maybe something that will be the deciding factor of this is depending on how they lay out the trilogy, if this is really a thing, right? Because if we see them just being like, yeah, Gears of War Ultimate Edition is included and we remastered 2 and 3, and they don't do anything else whatsoever with Gears of War Ultimate, then we know that it was probably an afterthought that came up. They were like, well, crap, we got to do this. Yeah. Otherwise, like if they find a way to combine them and tie them in, kind of like how you can bounce between the different games in Master Chief Collection, for example, then that would have taken longer to develop. I'll put that caveat on there.
And if as much like I love the Gears franchise, one of my favorite in gaming, but if they literally just take the games and you just put them into a package and then you just launch each game separately, and it doesn't have that Master Chief Collection interface where everything is just all in one spot, then like I don't even want it. I'll just go play the 360 versions. Let's go play
Yeah. And it talks very much to that whole idea of it being an afterthought, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, you've got these things, but you literally have them separate, and you did a file save as much as you possibly could.
Okay. Well, Plume, what about you? What do you expect to see here in the showcase? Give us your first
I'm going to go with an obvious one, but I'm going to say we're going to see Clockwork Revolution, and we're going to have a release date that's relatively soon on that one.
Oh wow! Like
maybe even
2024
Shadow drop. Yeah, I think so. I think we're going to see that one this year. That's my prediction.
Oh wow! Okay. Anything that's making you believe that, or
it just when they showed it last year, it looked like it was far into development. Looked like the game was coming along nicely, and they keep talking about they're slowly tweeting out like features of the game, of things you're going to be able to do. It almost seems like they're kind of ramping up a mini marketing campaign for it. So I just feel like it's kind of pointing towards a deep dive into this game, and then a surprise announcement that's coming this year.
Okay, wow. All right, I'm not gonna take a big risk like you guys are doing. I'm gonna take a very safe bet, and I'm gonna say Jim Ryan is gonna walk out, and he's gonna announce he's part of the team Xbox, and he's here to. No, I'm just kidding.
Jim Ryan and Don Matcher together.
Oh my
Oh
god!
God!
What a combination!
You guys said you wanted Phil Spencer fired.
Yeah.
This is what you get, the duel. Oh man. No, I'm gonna go with. I think we're gonna see finally the Starfield Shatter Space, and we definitely gonna get a release date. And hopefully they surprise us with even more content than it has been, confirmed that's gonna be there. So that's I think that's a pretty safe bet, I would say, but I'm gonna go with that one since I'm really anticipating that game. Well, that DLC. So back to you, Silent.
I'm nervous with that safe bet. Are you anticipating this isn't going to be a banger of a showcase? Are you nervous?
I kind of am. I am. To be honest.
Okay. So do you think I should go more conservative with my
you do
with my
you.
next bet? Okay.
You do you.
I'll do a safe bet as well. We will see Flight Simulator 2024 or whatever it's being announced, and we will get a release date for it.
We don't have a release date for it?
I don't think
Should
we
be
do.
this year, but we don't have an official release date.
Yeah,
Okay.
they said coming soon, or they said nothing at all, if I remember correctly. I don't think we actually have a date yet. I would say if that thing's coming out, it's probably August. That seems like an August release.
Yeah. I mean, looking at like the games that's supposed to come out this year, are they gonna do like back to back to back? Like that's gonna be kind of.
Dude,
They have so many studios
do you think
and
any get
now
delayed?
that
What was that?
Do you think any high profile one's gonna get delayed, Plume? For this year? I mean,
I don't think Avowed will be delayed. I don't think Indiana Jones will be delayed. And what else is the other big high profile ones that we know are coming this year? I'm trying to think. Call of Duty's obviously not going to be delayed. No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I just think they have so many studios now, and like they have games in their cooker, and they have to get. It's going to be interesting how they figure out the release dates.
Yeah, I want to see. I hope they start releasing, and hopefully they get into a nice rhythm where they release a bunch of games, and then we see everything pick up. That way, maybe it could get into their mind, and they could be like, oh wow, maybe the reason why the hardware and the subscription has been stagnant and hasn't been selling is because we didn't have content. Like, who would have thought of that? Like,
a bunch of people throwing a fit online about the fact that they have no games, but like, wasn't this going to hit eventually? Like, we're seeing it in real time. We saw Microsoft completely crap the bed for 2022 for the most part, I think it was, or 2023. And now we're seeing Sony literally in the same cadence. The only difference was because they had their releases lined up to land at different times. Like, we're in a situation right now where Sony's in a rough spot, and people are in denial. Let's be honest. Some people are in denial. Some people, I feel like, are actually accepting it and understanding that it's just what it is. But yeah, I mean, it was bound to happen, right? Like, go figure. These games have been in development long enough. Now they're going to start landing. I think that's going to be really messy, though, right? Because if nothing gets delayed out of what's currently in play, because Plume mentioned 3 big titles right there, and those are big titles, and those are coming out between now and the end of the year. The idea that they had was the cadence of 1 a quarter. That's 3
Which
and
is
2 quarters.
and
That's
that
3 and a half a year. So
1 a quarter is what they should be doing, because what they're going to run into at this point
Yes.
is no one's going to be able to play all these games. They're going to have
Yeah.
all of them out there.
going to be oversaturation. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's going
and
to be
then-
oversaturation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the hype dies for them when people are ready to play them. The hype's died for them, and it's going to be hard to get new people into trying them.
Yeah, they should be aiming 1 a quarter and then maybe a couple of like smaller ones to like trickle around. But
Yeah.
Plume, it's up to your next pick.
I'm
Is it gonna be as risky as hold on, that's Cozy? Cozy said Viva Pinata.
Oh, I have a better one than that.
Viva Pinata?
I got a
Ooh.
better one. I'm going to go off the board here. They're going to bring this. Is not obviously not going to happen, but they're going to bring back Blinks, the Time Sweeper.
Blinks.
One wants Banjo Kazooie, and they're going to come out and say, "Hey, we're going to make a new."
All right. I'll take that, I guess. But personally I prefer Conquer, but
That would be awesome too. Sure, I'll go with that too.
nice.
Bring
But
both.
who's gonna be
amazing.
developed though? Blinks.
I don't know. Double
3 for
Fine.
3?
Can I throw some random FUD out there that's not tied to it whatsoever? Because we figure they're doing something else anyways. But what if it were Toys for Bob?
Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, that'd be super cool.
'Cause-
Imagine if they surprised everyone. It's not Spyro. It's not Crash. It's a Blinks or even a Banjo.
Blinks.
That'd be-
No Banjo. And you
Okay,
know
let's go
what? I
Blinks.
don't want any Banjo because Boom wants Banjo, and I want to be a thorn in Boom's side. There you will
Right.
get no Banjo. There will be no Banjo.
Blinks
Oh
it
It
is.
is
my
nonsense. It's conquer or die. That's what we're getting.
I'll definitely take Conquer over Banjo all day.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, you threw me off, Plume. I don't even know what to say now.
That's why I'm here.
Awesome.
All right. Well, my next prediction of a game we're gonna see is Everwild. I think we're finally gonna see Everwild, and I expect to at least see what's the direction that the game's gonna take. Cause I guess they didn't even know which way they wanted to take this game. And hopefully Rare has had enough time to figure it out, and I expect to see some of that. Hopefully it's not like, oh, let's just show another season for Sea of Thieves. Even though I love Sea of Thieves, but and what do you guys think? How many seasons updates and things like that we're gonna see in the showcase? We're gonna see
What?
Elder Scroll,
Oh.
like Elder Scroll Online, Fallout 76,
You wanna-
Sea of Thieves. Are we gonna see the usual suspects here?
Go for it, Plume.
I think so. I think we will see some of that because the player numbers for those games are huge. So they have to appeal to that base. I mean, they won't be big updates, but I think we will see some talk about it.
Yeah. All right. Well, Silent Cypher. This is what, your
Can-
second pick?
No, this would be number 3, but I'm gonna jump onto that other one real quick because you asked about seasons and stuff. I don't give a good goddamn what's happening to Elder Scrolls Online. You can bury that tomorrow. I do not care. Give me a proper Elder Scrolls. Give me the proper Elder Scrolls 6. I don't care about your online stuff. Your online stuff was created in a time where financially you were struggling and you as Bethesda needed the money, right? They needed the money at that point. It was a thing that they needed to get out there. I do not care. It's just like the Elder Scrolls swords or blades or whatever it was on mobile. I don't care for it. Give me a main game. I don't need your online nonsense. I don't need Fallout 76. I don't care how many times you put good content in it to make it feel like a normal game. I don't need your online service.
Yeah, I feel like, real quick, sorry to jump in, but
You're good.
I think they should have their own events for each of these games. Have their own community. Like, for example, if I want to see a new update on Sea of Thieves that's coming up, what I do is I jump into
Yeah.
the live stream and I listen to everything they have to talk about it. But
Sour,
I
they used to have this. They used to have that approach. They had the like what was it? It wasn't this week on Xbox, but it was like the little Xbox showcase thing that they do. And it was like monthly or every other month they would highlight something like that. Like if you
yeah.
have something going on with Elder Scrolls Online, that's awesome for that community. I'm not part of that community. I don't care. I understand that you have content you want to show off, but put it towards those people that are interested. You're probably not going to get that many people adopting Elder Scrolls Online right now. Just being honest, I don't see a lot of people that are like, I need that in my life right now. The people who are diehard for it and want it, give them content for sure.
Okay.
Yep.
And what's your prediction?
Oh, my third guess. My bad. I went on a couple tangents. My bad. Okay. I'm going to say that we will end up seeing a deep dive on Fable. And they're not going to, well, they won't give us a month release date by any means, but they'll give us a year. I think the year will end up being 2025 is what they're aiming for. I think holiday of 2025.
Okay.
So
That's a
deep
big
dive
one.
Fable and that release date.
In this deep dive, what you expect to see?
You'll see more gameplay, which I know one of the big things that everyone was crapping on them previously about was like, where's the gameplay? Well, we saw Hellblade come out and we saw that blur between gameplay and the CG, right? Like the cutscenes and stuff. So I think that Fable's going to try and follow in that same vein where like you're not going to necessarily see as much of a difference between the gameplay and the cutscenes that you're seeing in the game. So I think that's going to be something we'll end up seeing quite a bit, is like they're going to show how visually this game is stunning. But we'll probably see some of the fighting mechanics and stuff. In true Fable fashion, I think it would be a missed opportunity if they didn't come out there and show the good and evil system and show like how
Hell
your
yeah.
character's going to change. So I think that would be something that we'd probably see in a deep dive as well. And when I say deep dive, because again, if I'm targeting a 2025 release date, a holiday 2025 release date, which I factor probably November, you're not going to see a ton, maybe like a 10 or a 15. Well, no, for the showcase. You'll probably see like maybe a 3 to 5 minute deep dive. That's my guess.
Okay. Nice. All right. Well, Plume, what's your...
Phil Spencer is going to come out and he's going to announce that Xbox signed a new deal with the NFL and that NFL Fever 25 is going to be released.
Oh,
They're
okay.
bringing back
I thought
NFL.
it was a joke.
No, it is a joke. It is. There's no way that's happening. They're gonna announce Gear 6.
Okay. Gear 6.
Yeah. It's just gonna be I think just a quick like cinematic trailer, maybe even just a splash screen. Who knows? And then Coalition maybe comes out and talks a little bit about it, and Unreal Engine 5 and how it's gonna be the biggest jump in Gears that we've ever seen, and everyone's gonna be really hyped.
Okay. Actually, you know what? I think if they do announce Gears, they would show the next hardware. I think Gear 6 would come for the next hardware, to be honest.
Maybe. I mean, we've seen previous generations where they've announced games, and then it gets so long in the development that doesn't come out until next gen, right?
Yeah. I think it's still going to come out for the series, but I think it's also going to be target to the newer hardware. I don't know. I just have a... What was that?
Interesting.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. It
Okay.
went dark. But
Sorry, my stuff freaked out. I don't know what's going on with my camera. So you think that the new Gears will end up being this gen? I'm kind of wondering at this point. I don't know if we're gonna actually see that for this gen. I feel like with how close we're getting to next gen, like
Well, when is next gen? That's the question, right?
True. I think we could possibly see this and it be like just maybe 6 months to a year before the next gen gets announced and released.
Okay. Yep.
It's going to be a long time between mainline Gears games, right? 2019 was Gears 5, I believe. So we're 20, yeah. It's going to be a long, big empty spot for the game.
It's...
Might lose it.
I think it was 2020. I think it was.
My thing's freezing up here.
Yeah, I think... No, I think Silent is the one that's having issues.
Oh, yeah, I hear you. Gears 5 release was... Yes. Yeah, September 10th, 2019, so...
Oh, 2019, actually. Oh, damn.
And then they had Hive Busters that came out a little after that, but that was a very short, awesome experience. But
yeah, it was pretty good. It was actually I liked it more than Gears 5, to be honest.
Yeah,
the actual game.
Really well done. And if it's crazy, you load up Gears 5 today, and I would challenge people out there to find a game that's like significantly better looking than Gears 5 on these current generation of consoles. It's still one of the best looking games out there.
Yeah, like there's only few games that you can probably say look up to par or better. Yeah. I do feel, I don't know if you feel the same. I feel for the next Gear, they do need to I don't know if it's changed the animation a bit or something, but I feel like they have to evolve a little bit on the whole. Like, I don't know. Personally, maybe it's a me thing, but a lot of people might not like this take because they like the essence of, like, you know, the first 3 Gears and stuff. But the way they run, I feel it's kind of odd to this day.
Yeah.
Like like the whole running, like crawling, like kind of like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, you think they need to? Well, it's because it's a cover shooter, so they're expecting you to just get from cover to cover.
Yeah,
basically.
but I don't know. I think they should change up a little bit the way it plays a little bit, just a little bit, just tweak it a little bit. But that's just me.
Yeah, you mean like the roadie run or whatever when they're sprinting?
Yeah.
Do you think that they should add more open world? Their most renowned, most favorited addition to the last game.
No, I don't. I think it should be more linear. Honestly.
I'm cool if they go back to just make a game like the first 3 Gears games.
Yeah.
More
100%.
dark, horror-y style, like, and I wonder what they're gonna do, like because Marcus Phoenix is getting pretty old, but I wouldn't mind seeing them kind of do like a story really focused on what his next chapter is, but we'll see. I know a lot of people, they weren't huge fans of the stories of 4 and 5.
Wait, to Marcus's future or to his sons?
Well, it depends.
Because Because if it's Marcus, then it's going to be a lot of Metamucil and Depends and.
But
Sorry, that's too mean. I should.
thing is, it depends. You can't even. On a serious note, I don't. I'm sure everyone's played Gears 5 by this point. I'm not going to say anything,
No
but
spoilers.
they can't really, Anyway, I'll shut up. Like, how are they going to do JD if something, like, all right, I'll stop.
Okay.
The zombie version, it'll happen.
All right. Well, oh man, it's my next prediction. I don't even know what to say. Okay, I guess we will see some Perfect Dark. I think we do see some Perfect Dark. Hopefully, we see some gameplay. We get to see a little bit of what the game's gonna be about. Kind of like how Silent said about Fable. I don't expect like an actual date, but I do expect a year. And I expect that game, I think, could hit 2025, to be honest, or 2026. But as a fan of the real old one, the one on the N64, I would love to see some of the gadgets, some of the weapons. I would like to see how the game is going to play. Is it going to be, because now that they added, Crystal Dynamics helping them, are they going to go full, third person? Or are they going to do a mixture of, first person and third person? Or are they going to give you the option to choose, or are they just going to keep it full first person game? That's all going to be interesting. The storyline seems to be very different from the first one. They seem to have dropped some of that whole alien stuff and all that, with something a little bit more believable, I would say, but still a little bit of sci-fi there, I guess. So this is gonna be interesting. So I'm very intrigued to see how that studio pulled themselves together, and depending on how the game show, we're gonna know if they got things together or not. If they became a 3-for-3 or not.
Can I tag on that Perfect
sure,
Dark one?
Definitely.
I think you're going to end up seeing a hybrid between the first and third person.
I hope that's what I'm hoping. Yeah, that's what I hope. Definitely, like a hybrid. Like when you cover, or when you're like certain when you're using certain things like for stealth and so on. Basically, you're in third person, but then when you need to shoot and all that, some first person.
Do we want to go into some more ridiculous, absurd ideas? Because we still have a little time.
Yeah, that was actually my next question. Like, what would be your one crazy announcement?
Okay, so my one crazy announcement would be Phil comes on stage. He's going to come on stage multiple times in this show, I think, is what we've determined.
So?
For different. I think at most Phil's going to be on the stage twice at most. I think recently we've seen less and less of Phil, and I think that's for a reason. They're trying to promote the new people coming in, the new blood, Sarah Bond, folks like that. I don't know if they're going to really promote or highlight Matt Booty. I don't know if it's really time for that or if it's necessary. But I think that Sarah will continue to get more coverage as time goes on if she doesn't leave. But my guess is Phil comes on stage, or, oh God, it's going to be Sarah that's going to do it or something. It'll mess me up. But my thought is Phil will come on stage and announce that they have picked up the teams from Crystal Dynamics and that they will now be part of the Xbox family.
Okay.
And I don't think this is going to happen, but it sure would be pretty badass if they all of a sudden said your favorite IPs like Deus Ex and etc. like will now be coming to this platform, and we will revitalize the development on these games.
You got had me there, except when you said the IPs. I don't think the
Deus,
IPs. Yeah.
I think they'll get Deus Ex no problem for pennies, because I really don't see them caring that much. I mean, obviously, if Embracer cared, they would have held on to it.
Okay. Maybe.
They wouldn't have closed down the creation of that new game.
But my other question is, do you see them getting Crystal Dynamic and also Eidos? Because Eidos helping with another game? They're helping another studio.
Was Eidos tied to? Oh, that's one we actually didn't really talk about at all. Was Contraband? We didn't say anything about Contraband. I think, wasn't that what Eidos was working on or helping with?
I thought it was Fable or something else.
No,
Contraband is Avalanche Studios.
Avalanche.
Yeah, but no,
okay.
we mean like because Eidos Montreal is helping an Xbox studio.
I didn't think they.
Don't
I didn't think
which
they were helping with it. I thought it was just
Crystal.
Crystal.
Oh, here you go. Yep,
because you've got Project Drat. Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh.
Eidos Montreal is contributing to Xbox Fable as Embracer's closest. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I could see it. It's given Embracer's current situation, I'm sure that they want whatever money they can make off of this, because they made the foolish bet on that.
Eidos
on that money. So
sorry, Eidos Montreal closed, didn't it?
No, they're currently helping. I think. Well, let's
they closed. Wasn't it one of the announcements that recently they just closed down in like 2023? Yeah, Eidos Sherbrooke was closed in late January 2023.
Son of a.
Really?
Yeah.
So what happened to those people? Oh, what happened to those people working on Fable?
No,
you know anymore.
You sure? Because all I can find is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
If that's
Embrace
the case.
And then Embrace. This is because they were part of Embracer.
No, I see. They canceled. They were working on a Deus Ex.
Yep.
And they laid off 97 employees, but I don't see where they're closed. You're sure?
Well, this is what Google's saying when I Google it at the top. You know how it gives you like a summary.
Oh.
Or
if
Eidos closed late January 2023, unless it was just the could have just been the layoffs. But how much help if they're laying off that many people from it too, right? How much help are they actually?
If they can't, if they ended up closing that, maybe they picked up those people. Maybe.
Oh, Eidos Sherbrooke, so I don't know if that's a different division. That one closed in 2023.
Oh yeah, because they had Montreal also.
Yeah.
Well, Montreal,
Sherbrooke's in Quebec, so it's probably they probably had two studios there.
Yeah, and they ended up canceling most of what Montreal was making, but I think that they were still assisting with projects like Microsoft projects.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you go to their page, they still have Crystal Dynamic and Eidos Montreal. They actually have them together, like the same thing.
Real quick before we continue on, shout out to Adidas 20 dropping the 10 spot. He says, "I'm here, Pony Pandemonium and Massacre coming June 9th." I like that energy, and I think, given what we've seen recently, I don't think they have to try that hard. I think they just have to avoid stepping on the rake. I think we talked about this, right? Is as long as they don't put themselves in a bad situation intentionally. Well, not even intentionally. They always find the rake. They're walking through tall grass and they always find the rakes. But yeah, I could see this weekend angering a lot of ponies. I think there's going to be a lot of coping. I think there's going to be a lot of disingenuous takes on social media for the next week, depending on how the showcase goes.
Yeah,
That's my thought.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Go ahead. Okay, what I was gonna say, jumping on your prediction or your I guess your crazy prediction. What would have been nice, but I don't think I think they sold that studio too. The studio of Metro, right? I think they did.
That was
So
4A
4A, yeah,
Studios.
4A. So that would have been a nice get. And what I would have loved is they get them, and they also get the Stalkers developers, which is
Yeah.
and maybe combine them. I think that would be
No, don't combine them. Let them continue to do their
Okay.
own thing. But you know, I could see them picking up 4A. Hopefully, because I'm trying to remember. Did Embracer close down 4A?
No, I think they sold it off. Who was their last?
Did
They
they sell
sold
that
a
one to
group.
They
Amazon?
sold.
They sold a group.
They sold
And-
a couple. I thought.
Oh no! I think wait,
Saber Interactive.
Saber Interactive.
They
which
bought. Yeah.
They bought themselves out, and then they gave them the option if they wanted 4A, and I think they took it. So
Okay.
at least at least it's in good hand, I guess.
That
Sabres.
being said, though, I think given their track record with Xbox, I wouldn't be surprised if they end up doing a collaboration of some sort with 4A. Because they already have that record there anyways. They were always working together really well with the Metro series anyways. So if that's the case, if that's what happened, I wouldn't be surprised if they worked together on that. It'd be like a Toys for Bob situation where it's like they were already, I mean, they weren't internal before all this stuff. They were obviously Embracer, but I feel like they were close enough to internal with how much they worked together, and they always supported their updates too. Like when the Series X patch was coming out, they were like gung ho to kick out that patch that upgraded the visuals, the functioning, the frame rate, all that stuff. So maybe.
Okay. What about you, Plume? What is your crazy prediction? Or
Oh, crazy prediction. Crazy prediction. I don't really have like anything too crazy. I already gave like my crazy prediction, which was Blink's Time Sweeper.
that was pretty crazy.
I think we're gonna get just a large slate of ABK backwards compatible games all dropped on Game Pass, kind of like what they did with the Bethesda drop. We're finally gonna see that, and I guess here's my crazy prediction: we're gonna see World of Warcraft announced for console.
Ooh, that's a big one right there.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that'll be
that's
nuts.
and they're gonna add in with the perks. If you have Game Pass, you don't have to pay a subscription fee, and it's just gonna get a lot of people jumping in and playing.
You're muted, Simon.
I was with you until you said no subscription fee.
Yeah.
Because I think they want that money.
Yeah, you're probably right, but I'm making a crazy prediction, so I'm saying
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. I like it. I like it. That'd be the only way to get me back in there.
Yeah, honestly, I think they should drop the subscription, or at least add it into like Game Pass. Because I feel like the users will go up so high that it's gonna definitely benefit. Like, how many people jumped off World of Warcraft because of the price? It's just $15 subscription for one game, when you have so many other MMOs that you can play that are just as good nowadays and probably look way better. So, you still have the whole, nostalgia and all that with World of Warcraft. But I feel like them making it like, it's on Game Pass, PC Game Pass, you can play it there. I think the numbers would go pretty high. I honestly think they might even become the the highest played MMO again if they do that. I do think so.
Yep, and it makes like the Xbox console as an MMO machine right now is pretty good if you think of everything on there with Final Fantasy 14 dropping. And there's like a huge sale on that. They have Fantasy Star Online 2. You have Elder Scrolls and tons of other ones. I think World of Warcraft on console is a huge win for them.
I think Raichi actually brings up a really good point in regards to WoW. He says WoW Game Pass lets you play until you're level 50 or level 100 for free before you have to get like a subscription, I assume is what he's saying. I could see that too, because that's that like first tastes free approach, right? Like try it, see what you think. If you like it, you're hooked and you're in. The other thing Jesse B mentioned, so he said that Sherbrooke was spun off to be support studio for Montreal or other studios to make games.
Yeah,
So,
they're right. Sherbrooke, Montreal, right? Like Rachel said in the chat, they're right beside each other, so it was confusing between the two.
it's fair. It's fair.
All right.
Do we want to do one more set of crazy predictions?
Well, I can't do one.
Oh, my bad. My bad. Sorry, I almost skipped you. Sorry, Crazy Louie. What's your...
Oh man. All right, here's my crazy prediction. A partnership with Sega where all their games will come to Game Pass.
Every single game.
Well, at least all their older games. Yeah,
Wait, no. Wait.
Because not
Don't change. Don't
Can't have
change
it
your
both
crazy
ways.
prediction just because
Can't have it both
I
ways.
inquired.
Yeah. I thought about it. I'm like, well, we're definitely not gonna see like
Even
Metaphor and like their Persona 6 right away in Game Pass, but
what about games that came out for PlayStation that didn't come out for Xbox?
well, I mean, if they port it, but then they'll have to work on that. But
Really questioning your
I
crazy
mean,
prediction.
They are doing
I'm looking at the
they are doing a lot of
remaster
remakes
of
or
Catherine.
remasters or whatever. So
Okay.
I
Fair,
can see that.
fair.
I think that could benefit both sides, honestly.
Oh, it definitely could. But I think the only thing that I would question with that, right, is Sega is in a much different place than what they were even a couple of years ago. They've had a very strong success over the last little bit. So I don't know if it's as advantageous to them as maybe as it was like a year or two ago.
Yeah. Well, they can do maybe like a Sega like package where it's more like those legendaries IPs like the Crazy Taxis and all that. Something like that.
Yeah, well, they're remaking a lot of their old stuff too.
Yeah, they're supposed to be
Yeah.
remaking Crazy Taxi, right?
Yep.
And Jet Set.
Jet Set. Jet
Yeah.
Set. What's that
Obi.
other game? Damn, I
Axe.
forgot. Yeah, with the axe.
Golden Axe?
Golden Axe.
Yes,
Yeah.
Golden
Yeah.
Axe. And that looked pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm actually excited for that one. Okay. Well, I think we got one last round. Do you guys want to do the one more thing to close the show before Call of Duty, of course, because we know we're gonna see Call of Duty. But what would be the one more thing, Silent?
God, the one more thing. It's gotta be a banger, and I mean I'm a fan, so this is a banger to me. If this happened, I would be stoked. Forza Horizon 6
Ooh, in what location?
in Japan, of course.
Oh my god.
Absolutely, we're Tokyo drifting up this sucker right now. That is what we need. We need a Japan version.
That would be sick.
All these other ones have been really cool, but Japan has such a lore and such a history with drifting and racing and stuff in general.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, with a day and night cycle. And let me ask you this:
Mhm.
Would you think if they do Japan, should they do it more like, kind of like those street cars, instead of like more like higher end cars like Ferraris and all that?
Yes, yeah. I mean, even in that situation, you see a lot of Porsche and stuff like that in the street side of things. You don't see like your Lamborghinis and your
Yeah, like
Ferraris
that's what I meant.
necessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would be okay with that. I mean, if they brought them later on as DLC or something like that, part of the season pass, and they had some of those more exotic cars, sure. Um, it would be really cool to bomb through some of those canyons and some of those cliff sides in Japan in some of those cars.
Yeah.
But I would be perfectly fine if it literally just took the same type of stance or approach as something like Tokyo Drift, and we just had that type of approach with the cars, like
Yeah.
fancy, but not your like elite tier cars.
It'll be
That'd be
refreshing
awesome.
too, cause it'll feel different. I feel.
Yeah. Yeah, I think even just going to that region is going to be such a drastic difference for them, because I feel like the last couple times that they've done these, you've had your like Australia and New Zealand type of feel, you've had your UK, Great Britain, you've had the Mexico one, which was actually a nice change of
Yeah.
pace. That was a good change of pace too. But those
Yeah. That was a good.
previous ones before, you had Italy, you had UK, you had stuff that felt very samey. And I
Yeah.
feel like Mexico was a great change. This would be probably a more substantial change in ways too.
Yep.
So, yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right. Well, soon.
Since most of my predictions today are have been crazy and probably not going to come true, I'm going to say they're going to say one more thing and they're going to surprise everyone with Crackdown 4.
All right.
Dude, okay, let's go. I'm good with it. Let's do it. I want another Crackdown. I don't care what everyone said about
I
it.
loved
I
love
enjoyed it.
Crackdown 3. I don't care what anyone says.
It was not what they promised. I will
No.
give it that. And it was like, if you wanted more Crackdown, it was more Crackdown, and that was fine.
Which is I was fine with that. Yeah, I loved
Yeah.
all the first one, second one. So it was just more of the same fun, crazy superhero craziness.
Crackdown 4.
was great.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for that. I like Ham's comment in the chat. I can tell that it's definitely Ham. It's not Loke, because he put Forza Africa is his guess. I like that. I like that. Yeah, Forza Africa. That would be good. Can I hit Loke for points? Is that an option? Oh wait,
Yeah.
that's right. He's in Texas. Never mind. I
He's in
disregard.
Texas, yeah.
Disregard.
Well, that would be another interesting too, because they can throw in little parts of like Egypt, more like the south side and all that. So yeah, that'll be interesting, definitely. Okay, well, all right. My one more thing would be you have Certain Affinity come out together with 343 and announce the next Halo. That would be it. This is the next Halo. It's gonna be an Unreal Engine 5, and here's a little tease.
I am
a little tease, yes.
Yeah. Not
nothing's
a full, no,
anywhere
nothing full
near-
blown. No,
Yeah.
definitely not. Here's a
Yeah.
little tease. Yeah. In the meantime, Halo Infinite will be shifting to Unreal Engine 5.
You think they're going to waste the time on Infinite? That is a crazy prediction. I give you that. Yeah.
We heard. Hasn't that game been changing to Unreal like for years now?
Officially?
Well, you know what I
don't know.
mean.
I think they ducked it as soon as things changed up with management, and I think they probably started prioritizing the next Halo in a different engine. That's my guess. I mean, maybe we see a UE5 version of Infinite, but it kind of feels like it's a dwindling return on investment at this point, because if you're getting ready to announce a new game, why are people going to bother spending much money on the old one?
Yeah.
That's a lot of dev time.
I just want more single player campaign. So I'll be excited if they were to do that. But to me, it's like Halo Infinite now is in a state like gameplay wise and content is in a great state. So it's just I'm kind of torn about a new Halo at this point, other than just more
Single player.
campaign.
Yeah,
I wish they would have just added to the current single player campaign they had there and just expanded on it, added more biomes and done stuff like that. Because I mean, I really enjoyed the single player campaign in Infinite, and it's gameplay wise and everything. It is just so fun. So I don't know.
Have you tried that new Battle Royale from Forge? I heard it's really good.
No, I don't think I have.
All right, I'm down to trying it.
Yeah, let's try it for sure. Yeah, there's some crazy stuff in Forge, and they're bringing Match Composer now to Infinite, so you're gonna be able to have some cool playlists. So it's I don't know, it's a very weird time for the game.
Yeah.
Because I think it's in a great spot right now. It's just
it is. It's just also the marketing hasn't been there, so
yeah,
I understand why too.
Yeah, and it seems like they're winding it down when they got rid of the whole seasons thing, and they just went to the operations. It's just that was hinting, I think, of them winding down the development for it.
Dude, okay, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but Big Mad Mo, shout out to him in the chat. He actually just brought the fact that Octopath Traveler 2 is now available on Xbox Series X and S.
Yeah, Game Pass drop, a shadow drop. The first one's back on there too. It just happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the first one's back on Game Pass?
And the second one, they just shadow dropped onto Game Pass.
Nice.
That's awesome. Thank you for the heads up.
Yeah.
I did not realize that. That's pretty rad. That's going to be good.
All right. You guys want to throw in like a shadow drop? Even though I think Plume already said it.
I'll drop a shadow drop in there. I don't know what it is yet.
Here, I'll start with mine. I think 33 Immortals will be shadow dropped. I think that game. You don't like that game? What it looks like?
No, it looks great, and I've heard really good things from the beta. But they just had a beta. I don't see it.
Oh, they just had a beta. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, it just ended 3 days ago.
Okay, then never mind. All right, Plume. You want another shadow drop?
Oh man, another shadow drop. How many shadow drops am I getting?
It's a 9.5.
Premiere.
I don't know. Maybe like.
Wait, what was that? Fable Perfect Dark shadow drop?
Yeah, that's well, I actually think Clockwork Revolution could potentially be a shadow drop. I don't know why that one keeps coming back to me, but I'm just gonna dismiss that.
South of Midnight?
No, not.
No. Come on.
Well, you got to think about it like this, right? If there's a shadow drop, it actually makes a lot of sense because everything coming out from Xbox first party is all stacked at the end of the year. So maybe they were looking at the release schedule, and they're like, we're going to have this stack at the end of 2024. Let's get something out after Hellblade and between the releases of everything else. And maybe they've been planning for this for a big game. You never know. Just throwing that out there.
Are we going to see Silksong?
It's not at Summer Games Fest.
Yeah, we know that.
So maybe that's a shadow drop. Because that game has shown up on the store now, I believe. If I remember correctly.
All right. Well, silent and big with the show.
And big with a shadow drop. Ooh.
With shadow drop.
All right. Crackdown 4. Sorry. No. Okay. So if I'm being serious, I could see a shadow drop of the Marcus Phoenix collection.
Okay.
I'll take it.
Take that. All right, guys. Well, I think it's time to end the show. Lou never appeared.
Yeah, we got to
Uh,
check in on him to make sure he's
Hopefully he's safe. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
But you guys, Plume, where can we find you? And
Plume Gaming. You guys know, find me YouTube and X are the main places where I'm talking games. 8 a.m.
8 a.m. 8 a.m. And Tyler, where can we find you?
All right. Well, yeah, you can find me on social media being an Ass Goblin. You can find me on Boom Show every other Friday, Breakfast with Boom. That won't be this week. That's going to be next week. Crap. Yeah, okay. Sorry. I was thinking about it. I'm still in town. You'll catch me next Friday on this show. I keep saying it, I feel like, but I do have TikTok content coming. I kept getting ready to post a couple things the last couple days, but TikTok surprised us recently and got rid of a bunch of music. And usually when I try and do these, I try and tie it to a song that matches up to what I'm posting. So bear with me, but I've got some stuff coming. I'm just rethinking how I'm approaching it. And besides that, maybe you'll catch me live on here a couple times at random doing just some personal opinions and stuff as we go into these showcases, or maybe right after. We'll see. You'll catch me on Sunday morning with the guys. We're going to end up doing our live stream on that and watching through the show, which hopefully Microsoft won't crap the bed, and hopefully it'll be a great show. And yeah, and again, make sure, I know he didn't promote it right then either, but make sure that you go onto YouTube and get the notifications for Plume shows, because he's going to be doing shows throughout the weekend. So make sure that you're watching his stuff too, because he'll be live streaming as well. There's nothing wrong with dual screening or multitasking our content, or coming back to it later on. It's fine. As long as you get the content and you enjoy it, that's all that matters.
Thanks for reminding me about my own show.
I try. I'm your trusty mod, and I want to make sure that we get people in there. So,
all right. Well, personally, for me, more worry about promoting these guys. These guys, the Spanish crew, Xbox International podcast en español. They have a nice little showcase with indies games this June 8th at 10 a.m. Pacific. And, go support them. If you want to watch some indie games, you can watch that before the June 9th. And then June 9th, we're going to be here, and they're going to do their own stream also. And Plume is going to do their own stream. So as long as you are on one of those channels, I guess you're supporting us. But other than that, I guess it's time to end the broadcast. Anyone want to say any other ending words? Any ending message? Anyone that has a word on Lou?
No word on Lou. He's still radio silent, but I guess we can roll it out like Lou's here. Do you want to do that? Or do you
I thought you were going to do it. I thought you were going to
do it. But guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. And remember my 7 mottos. No, I'm just kidding. He cut it down. He got rid of some of them. It's better now. Let's go. Let's rock. And let's not drive and talk. Yeah. We'll see you guys in a couple days.
Do I play the intro now instead of that?
Yes, play the intro this time, because why not? See you guys. Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've arrived at our destination. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captain turns off this live stream. On behalf of Xbox International, I'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we're looking forward to seeing you aboard next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.